Should I not? Should I kill this thing? Should I not? Should I kill it? Should I not? The night was heavy with silence inside the small, modern but humble home. In the center of the living room stood a woman poised like a queen on a battlefield. Her eyes, sharp and cold, swept across the floor were two bodies, one man, one woman. Their lives spilled out in crimson streams across the tiles. She shifted slightly, careful not to let the blood touch her expensive shiny shoes. The woman tilted her head, her voice calm but cutting through the air. Are they dead? Yes, ma. One of the men in black answered quickly, his gaze fixed on the ground. They're dead. Her lips curved into the faintest trace of a smile, though her eyes remained hard. Good. Make sure there are no traces. I don't want any bullshit following me back to my palace. Do a clean job. The man nodded, already moving with trained precision. She stood still, composed, like a shadow that owned the room. Her name was Amanda. Rumors had it that she was among the top richest people in the city. No one really knew how she had built her empire, but everyone knew her name carried fear and respect. There was another rumor too, whispered in hushed tones at bars, churches, and markets. If you needed money, any amount, you could always go to Amanda. She would lend it without hesitation, as long as you were capable of paying it back in the agreed time and with the agreed interest. But those who failed to keep their word, their stories often ended in silence, buried deep like secrets no one dared to dig up. Amanda stood tall in that humble home, giving orders as though she owned not just the wealth, but the very breath of those around her. If any of this follows me back, I will have your heads, your wives' heads, and the heads of your children, and I will make sure I fry them for my dogs. Amanda would often remind her bodyguards of this. They worked not to please her, but out of pure survival, straining every day to make sure they never caused harm, never made a mistake, and never displeased her. When Amanda turned to leave the home of the dead couple, her steps halted, her eyes locked with another pair, small, innocent eyes. A baby. The child couldn't have been more than 6 months old, sitting quietly in a cot pushed against the wall. Unlike the men and women who trembled before Amanda, the child didn't cry, didn't hide. Instead, it smiled, a pure, toothless smile that reached Amanda in a way nothing else had that night. Should I kill this thing? Should I not? Should I kill this thing? Should I not? Should I kill it? Should I not? She whispered, pacing slowly toward the court. Each step echoed with menace, her expensive shoes tapping against the blood-stained floor. But the baby only stretched out its tiny arms towards her, as though asking to be lifted. Amanda stopped right in front of the child, her lips parted, not in anger this time, but in disbelief. Okwara! Amanda's voice sliced through the silence like a blade. One of the men stepped forward from the shadows. He was tall and feared among them all, the most brutal man in her service. Yes, ma. His voice was steady, but his eyes flickered uneasily as he followed her gaze to the baby. Kill the tiny thing, Amanda ordered, her words sharp, final. Ma? For the first time, Amanda caught it, the faint tremble in Okwara's voice. His eyes darted to the child, then back to her, as though searching for some other command, any other command. Amanda's lips curled into a cold smile. "Did you not hear me? I said, kill the tiny little human being." Her words hissed through the room like a poison, each syllable pressing down heavier than the last. Okwara's jaw tightened. His hands clenched and unclenched at his side. The baby giggled, stretching its hands towards the man as though expecting warmth instead of death. The room held its breath. The baby continued giggling, its laughter soft and pure as though life was nothing but kind. "Mama," the baby suddenly uttered, the small sound floating through the room like a whisper from another world. Amanda froze, her head turned sharply, eyes narrowing at the child as though she hadn't heard correctly, but the word hung in the air, undeniable. Okwara's hand was steady, the barrel of his gun pointed directly between the child's bright, unknowing eyes. One twitch of his finger and the room would go silent forever. Yet the baby only stretched higher, tiny hands reaching upward toward Amanda, toward the very woman who had just ordered its death. "Stop!" Amanda's voice thundered through the room. Okwara blinked, lowering the gun an inch in confusion. Amanda stepped closer, her breath uneven. Her eyes lingered on the baby's smile, on the way it reached for her without fear. Something stirred inside her, something she hadn't felt in years, something dangerous. "Maybe," she whispered almost to herself, "maybe I can keep it." The room went silent again, but this time not out of fear of Amanda's wrath, out of shock. Okwara glanced at the other guards. None dared move, none dared speak. Amanda never changes her mind. Never. One of the guards stepped forward, lifting the baby gently, but awkwardly, as though holding something fragile for the first time. The infant's tiny fingers wrapping around the man's thumb. Amanda turned sharply, her heels clicking against the floor, her eyes cut like steel. "Where's the doctor?" she demanded, eyes narrowing at the men who still hovered in silence. "The organs are supposed to be transported immediately. You're wasting my time. Don't waste my money. Don't end up like these dead fools." She gestured carelessly at the bloodied bodies on the floor. The guards shifted uneasily, exchanging glances but saying nothing. Everyone knew Amanda's business ran deeper than loans and money lending. Rumors of disappearances, of deliveries, of hidden clinics, of body parts sold at prices higher than gold. None had ever been confirmed, but now, in that suffocating room, those whispers breathed into reality. The baby laughed again, tugging at the guard's sleeve. Its innocence mocked the darkness that clung to the air. Amanda's eyes flicked back to it, unreadable, her thoughts hidden behind the cold mask she always wore. Amanda took the baby home. She didn't hand it over to the doctor, nor did she discard it like waste. Instead, she hired a nanny, strict, silent, and loyal, and raised the child as though it were her very own. The baby grew under Amanda's shadow, nurtured not with lullabies, but with lessons of survival. The house that once echoed with Amanda's cold commands now carried the laughter of a child, though it was a laughter sharpened by the ages of Amanda's world. As the years passed, the little girl blossomed into a striking young lady. Her beauty was undeniable, but behind her eyes lived something far more dangerous. Amanda did not raise her to be soft, she raised her to be brutal. From the art of persuasion to the use of fear, from counting money to reading weaknesses in persons' faces, the girl absorbed it all. By the time she was a teenager, she had inherited Amanda's glare, Amanda's authority, and Amanda's hunger. Everyone who had witnessed the night of her discovery, the truth of her parents' death, had been warned, never speak a word. Amanda's word was law, and to break it was to disappear. The city came to know her as one thing, the Princess of Amanda.